Hello guys, it's Nikki, also known as Facelesstrader, and you are watching the Awesome 10x live market update. It's the November 30, 2020, the end of the month. I'll show you a lot of charts and also some news for your daily trading day. So as you could see, the market has been on a very, very strong move this month of November. I'm pretty sure that some of you might have seen some of your portfolios go up 50% or even 100% in just this single month alone. Let me show to you the charts of the companies that I'm talking about. So for instance, ChargePoint, which is an awesome 10x pick, we were buying somewhere here at about 14 to 12 and held on to it. This November, in just a couple of 4 days, you have seen it rise from 20 to 40. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, fell down to 35, back to 37. You are seeing a really, really huge run on many charging stations. SBE is one of them. Take note what happened with Blink. Of course, these are Trio, SBE, Blink, and even the Tuscan Holdings, which is Nuvi. So take note, Blink went somewhere like from 10 to as high as 30 in just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Tuscan Holdings, let's take a look at that. Tuscan Holdings went somewhere from 10 to 1350, then fell down to 1233. The thing is, there are so many wild movements that are actually encouraging some people and asking me, are these movements normal or should we be profit taking? Consider also a few names that have been I put it on my study list because I don't have it. I don't have a thorough study on them. However, they've been moving a lot these days. So for instance, let's take a look at EH, which is EHang. This is an unmanned, think about it like flying cars. So unmanned aerial vehicles. This one just bottomed out at $10 at 8 and 10, broke out, and then the last couple of days went 50%. So this one I haven't studied yet, and the market cap is $738 million, up 16%. Let's read this news last November 24, 2020 on EH. Industrials, Aerospace, and Defense. It's a Chinese company. So it operates as an autonomous aerial vehicle tech platform in the Republic of China, Europe, North America, West Asia, and internationally. It designs, develops, manufactures, sells, and operates AAVs, as well as their supporting systems, infrastructure of a range of industries and applications. Company was founded in 2014. That was 6 years ago. And you could see that the company is trying to grow their revenues. And of course, they're still losing money, but it's also a company that has done a first flight tour. So take note, EHang's 216 Korean flight tour, the very first step towards future unmanned automated flight operations. So EHang 2216 delivered a package containing 119 fire emergency kits and AED materials in Daegu. So they showed it like the autonomous flight over a downtown area, flying over Jeju Island to demonstrate the real use case of aerial sightseeing. It says here that EHang Holdings is the world's leading autonomous aerial vehicle, AAV. It's a tech platform company announcing its two-seater passenger-grade AAV. EHang 216 completed its maiden flights in 3 Korean locations, Seoul, Daegu, and Jeju Island. This flight tour signifies the starting point to explore the UAM market in Korea. During the flight tour, EHang brought the world's leading UAM solution to Korea, including passenger transportation, emergency medical service, and aerial sightseeing. In Seoul, EHang 216 took off from YuA Island in downtown to have an autonomous flight over a densely populated area. So this is an interesting company. Actually, I've been shared some of these ideas to add on my study list, whether it be drone delivery or all these things. This is also a company that is being brought to my attention. ROCH. So I do study quite a lot of companies, including SPACs, special purpose acquisition vehicles, and special purpose acquisition companies, or basically it's a suitable way to get an IPO, but just a different route. So ROCH is actually a company that is being traded on the SPACs. Let's see, ROCH. It's not yet in your FinBiz, but it's already trading in your market, NASDAQ. So Roche. Roche is something that I'm looking to study because it's sustainable packaging. It's gonna be the SPAC vehicle for Pure Cycle. So Roth is a SPAC, and this is going to be the news on this. Let me read it to you. Let's read November 16. Pure Cycle Technologies goes public via merger with Roche. So the newly created company will be renamed Pure Cycle. It will be listed on the NASDAQ stock market. The company is going to be valued at $1.2 billion with an enterprise value of $826 million. It is expected to use those build those millions of dollars to actually build its first commercial scale plant in Ohio and to have a capacity of 107 million pounds a year when fully operational. Production is slated to start in late 2022 with a full capacity expected in 2023. So usually all SPACs start at 10. Looks like people are getting bullish on these trends. 10 goes to 11 ever since that November 16 news. So this was November 16, 10:50. In the last week, it was already up 5%. It actually is interesting to me because I have studied one of its competitors, which is Live Oak. Live Oak is going to be where Danimer Scientific is also going to be. It's also in the same sector. If you think about it, sustainable packaging, biodegradable plastics, that's why I'm interested to study this company. So this one has been listed the news was said around last October 5. So ever since last October 5, you'll notice that this was the October 5. We were buying somewhere here at about 10:20 to 10:30 upon the news. And then right now it's already trading at 11.76 or about 13% higher. We do continue to hold these names as we believe that these trends could actually go further. For those who aren't in the know, put on your watch list ROCH. This is a company that Awesome 10X would be studying. This is, of course, something that is given for inner circle members, wherein we study companies that we could either we want to buy it or we're going to wait for it, but it's going to be part of our watch lists. So Roche is one of them. I'm taking a look on these names as well. There's actually a lot of companies to look at. Of course, for cannabis, Hexo, Tilray, and Aurora have risen very, very strongly. Let me show to you what has happened on these weed-related names. I'm gonna show to you those companies wherein we have been invested, and we would ask you whether you would plan to buy more of it on any dips. Let's see. So let's see. Weed, as you could see, in the last couple of days, very strong moves for your Aurora cannabis, up 20%. Of course, Aurora is listed both in US and in Canada. So Aurora cannabis is up 20%. Your Tilray is up 13%. Your Hexo is up 10%. Organigram is up 10%. Charlotte's Web is up 10%. So most of these companies have been rising for over a month now. Take a look at the performance. Although their year-to-date isn't quite good, take a look that most of them are actually trading at very strong movements for the month. So Aurora Cannabis is up 158% for the month. Grow Generation is up 100% for the month. Charlotte's Web is up 90% for the month, and so on. Afria, Kronos. So we're going to try to take a look at ACB on whether this company has some news for you. And basically the sector, the weed cannabis sector. Ever since, of course, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have said in their platforms that they would support legal marijuana, this entire sector has been blistering hot. So you could see that they have been reversing. You could see this movement from about 387 to as high as 12, had a pullback here at about 7, where we had some clients enter here. Awesome 10X members entered about 7. Actually, some of us were entering below 5. It's just that some of us sold early and re-entered again. And this time, we're not anymore trading. We are looking at a bigger reversal move. So we could see that even from a charting perspective, these are in the elements of actually a starting point for something very, very huge. So Aurora Cannabis is actually in a very, very long-term potential reversal. So let's take a look at news on ACB. ACB is announcing an Israel medical supply agreement with Cantech. Let's read this news. So they're announcing an Israeli finished product is co-branded. Under agreement, they will supply Cantech with dried bulk flower over a 2-year period. You'll notice that Aurora has been selling shares as well, even as Biden's transition to presidency begins. This one is also true. In the last couple of weeks, all of the cannabis stocks as a whole have been rising. You could see that as President-elect Joe Biden's transition to the White House has officially started, Aurora Cannabis soared 27%, Tilray 16%, Canopy Growth 9%, Chronos 9%, Afria 8%. When you take a look at the entire ETF of the marijuana or the recreational marijuana or THC or cannabidiol, most of them are actually outperforming despite some offerings. You'll see that November 11, for instance, Aurora successfully got a lot of people to buy here at a cost of $7.50 per unit. So it's important for you to know that these companies are actually in a higher low, given that they were able to get a lot of funding at lower levels. So actually, I remember ACB getting funds at $4 and now at $7.50. So there was also a share sale here and then another share sale. So these are actually elements of a potential uptrend in motion. You could still see that ACB has these small resistances at 18 and 14. However, as you've seen higher lows and a lot of support for this sector, you should be on the lookout for more positive news on these trends. So Aurora Cannabis, take a look at that. For those who don't have ACB, the chances of you getting it is probably more on the $10 to $8 area. So those who don't have ACB can take a look at 10 to 8. Of course, take note at the other sector movers as well. So it is actually a sector move, not necessarily for Aurora Cannabis itself. You can see that Tilray has rallied as well, somewhere from about 6 to as high as 12, had a pullback, a nice pullback back below 8, and actually right now at 850. So Tilray, for those who have it, should continue to hold it. Those who don't have it might wish to enter even at 850 today's price, even as it rallied 13% higher last week. So let's read what are the news on Tilray. Should you buy marijuana stocks as Biden begins the transition? So let's read this for you. Stock markets are record bound. Marijuana stocks soar. Pot stocks hit buy zones as Biden transition lifts the industry hopes. CEOs of Tilray, Iconic Brands, Canopy Growth, and Aurora Cannabis discuss their next phase of global growth opportunities and brands innovation. So we'll read all of these things for you. So ever since that Joe Biden, of course, won and Kamala Harris, the market has actually been fully bullish on this entire sector, from solars to electrics, and of course, the legalization of marijuana. So here, Canadian marijuana stocks trading on U.S. major exchanges largely rallied through early November. New Jersey, Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota approved ballot measures to legalize recreational marijuana. South Dakota is also back creating a medical marijuana program for people with severe medical conditions. And after President-elect Biden transition formally began, marijuana stocks jumped again. Biden has said that he supports federal marijuana decriminalization. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris has sponsored the MORE Act. This is a proposed measure, among other things, taking the pot off the list of controlled substances. Cannabis industry executives predicted a domino effect, with newly legal states pressing neighboring states to legalize in an effort to prevent a flight of tax revenue. And they say more legal states increases the likelihood that the government will take action to roll back prescriptions on a national level. So even as marijuana stocks are shooting higher, some analysts believe that there are no near-term U.S. catalysts for Canadian pot producers to enter the nation. While we appreciate the excitement around incremental cannabis regulatory change in the U.S. from the election, the federal backdrop does not provide a pathway to a near-term catalyst for Canadian entry into the U.S. THC market. We believe that the markets are misunderstanding this. The law introduced in 2018 would keep the federal government out of the state's cannabis legislation. The broader industry struggles even before the election and even before the COVID pandemic. Analysts have predicted a tough stretch ahead for the industry as cash and financing dried up. So companies like big producers like CGC and ACB had to scale back their operations. The pandemic is still coursing through North America. Money in the bank will become more crucial. And as the coronavirus pandemic leaves the economy, service levels at pot dispensaries have focused more on which companies have enough cash to ride it out. Analysts have pointed that Canopy Growth and Kronos have healthy cash positions thanks to the big investments from Constellation Brands and Altria, respectively. They also said that Afria was a solid defensive play, citing their cash cushion. So we'll see about these companies with more cash than the rest. So let's take a look at each one of them now. So you heard about the Kronos, so we'll take a look at Kronos, CRON. So these have a business. CGC and Kronos both got invested by Constellation Brands and Altria. This is your Kronos group. You'll see that most of them have market caps, some of them still in the billions of dollars. So Kronos is at $3 billion. Kronos also has a partnership with Kirsten Bell for the Happy Dance skincare line. So we'll see. We'll take a look. So this has already rallied ever since October from 5 to 850. So if we notice that this is actually a reversal move, we should be seeing a higher low in the next coming days. So yes, there will be these resistances at 10. Likely that actually what we should see is that at 7 below, Kronos should be bought. So here, let's take a look at each one of them, the charts of Kronos. So Kronos has already been discussed actually in one of our updates. We actually have here in Awesome 10X, you just search it, cannabis. Do this, guys, cannabis, Awesome 10X. So this was November 10, cannabis stocks for an Awesome 10X portfolio. So it's all here, November 8. There. So actually, we have been talking about some cannabis stocks for you, and you'll see that most of them actually have risen 20%, 10%, and so forth. That would be something for you to keep in mind. So this one, Kronos, if you don't have it, try your best to see if you can enter about $8 below or $7.50 for Kronos. So there will be resistances, given the resistances here are in terms of years. So you don't need to just enter any price. Just wait for your entry to get a better one. Okay, there are more to discuss. Let's take a look at the portfolio watch. Okay, this is another news to share. Let's go to the IPO segment. There are upcoming IPOs and SPACs, yes. I'm gonna go to the IPO sector first. Actually, some SPACs I haven't really studied, which are being given for me to study. QuantumScape was already QuantumScape was an Awesome 10X pick, not necessarily a super pick, but this was something that we discussed. It used to be called KCAP. It's now called QuantumScape QS. So this was the one backed by Bill Gates. And some of us have it, some of us don't, as it is quite a VC type of investing. These companies are actually involved in solid-state batteries, and that is, to me, quite a very scientific project rather than a commercialized project. That said, 11 has gone to 40, and you could see that only materialized within a single month. So if you actually check on most charts right now, I'd say that most of them have actually rallied something in the realm of 200 to 300%. Like this, notice from 9 to 33, fell down to 27. You'll notice that every company right now is quite doing a very magnanimous move. Like this one is 70, it's now trading at 148. So I'm not calling out that the market will definitely collapse. However, I would caution people who are chasing the market without knowing what they're buying to actually think twice. Yes, we'll have a lot of wins because we have been buying them early on. For instance, for Gorex Metropolis, we've been buying from 10, sold some at 13, bought it back at 10, even bought it again at 11. Even if we bought it at 13, we were looking to buy 13, 12, 11. Take note that the company is now trading at $16 or 30% up in just a couple of days. Yes, you saw this from 10 to 16. After hours, Gorex Metropolis already trading at 16. So right now, actually, with the blistering moves of the market, it is great for the people who are already invested. However, for those who aren't invested, I would actually caution you to be a little bit more on the cautious side, because the market is running too hot, and actually you might end up with a very bad day if you end up being the one at the late in the game. So I mean, it is something that you have to be watchful of. These are some IPOs that are, yes, these are already super greens. And if you notice, actually, the performances of the IPOs, even for just a single month, doesn't have to even be a single year. Xpeng 200%, QuantumScape 200%, Palantir 170%. We don't cover CIIG, Lordstown Motors. We did get that as well, and it's already up 100%. So some of these companies we have mentioned as free Friday picks. Example, Lemonade was given as a free Friday class pick. Dada Nexus was also given as a free Friday class pick. Take notes what's happening in them. These are the charts. Lemonade, delighting your customers. Remember when we said to buy somewhere here around September, here at about 46 to 48. It rallied to 70, even got back here to 48. Right now, it just broke that $70 mark. That used to be the resistances. So whether this continues higher, I do think that another resistance will present itself at $90. So the level of risk taking that the market is currently getting is a little bit on the high side. So I would argue people to be more cautious rather than just jumping ahead. Let me see if there are commentaries. Okay, hi, Miss Nikki. Could you please provide us the link of your Interactive Brokers referral? Yeah, sure. I'll put it again. Wait up, guys. It's in my Twitter, but I'll add it now. Wait up. Let me just share it now. So this is my referral link, ibkr.com/referral/nick1717. Wait up. Could you just add this in the comment? I don't know how to add it there. Okay, yeah, let me see other questions. So no questions about the stocks related. Okay, so I think like right now, the focus should still be on the IPO sector, but be careful of chasing the ones that have already rallied. For instance, XPEV, QuantumScape, Palantir, these are already running at about 200% in just a single month. It doesn't mean that they will collapse. It just means that you have to be more careful and understand that some of these names can actually just consolidate and pause after a really, really strong run, meaning they could just leap first before going up again. I should also share this news on Tesla having gotten the permit of being able to sell their Model Y. They've already gotten the permit in China. It was a breaking news just a couple of hours ago. Let me read that. China is granting the Tesla the green light to start selling the Shanghai-made Model Y SUV. So let's read this for you. So, of course, this is a direct competition of all the Chinese electric vehicles that's also sold in China. Tesla can now sell its Model 3 electric cars in China and has been building new car manufacturing capacity in Shanghai to make its Model Y SUVs. It applied for the Shanghai-made Model Y SUV sales permission earlier this month. It started delivering vehicles made in its Shanghai factory last December and sold more than 13,000 vehicles in China in October. Company has started exporting their China-made Model 3 cars to Europe and said last week that it plans to start making electric vehicle chargers in China in 2021. So what you'll notice is that all of these good news are being baked in the current levels as well of electrics. For those who aren't yet making money on the electrics, although I would warn you on entering, it doesn't mean that we would be selling. It's just that we are early on. We have earlier been pitching already this entire sector, electric vehicles. And as you could see, the performance of this group is really a leadership mode. Year to date, you could see anywhere something like 1,500% gains, 1,200% gains, 800% gains, 700%. I mean, everything here is triple digit. So this is a sector that has ran a lot and continues to run from a week to a month, the year to date. It's been really that much the entire year. your Teslas, but not just your Tesla, the entire electric vehicle sector. These drops of 4%, 3% mask the reality that they've been up 1,000% for the year. So they truly went 10x, not just 10%. And in my view, you have to be more on the not necessarily sell all side, but there will be nothing wrong if you're taking maybe 10% of your wins or maybe just 20% of your wins. If you choose to hold all of your positions, that's also fine. What does that mean? Whether Tesla can go $600 or higher, whether your First Solars, your Canadian Solars, your Nano Dimensions, your F-Cell, whatever you think about them, after like 500% rises, I think that you need to have a little bit of caution on those gains. So example, this is your F-Cell, 2 goes to 11. That would be just this month. I don't think that it can really sustain. So it's not bad to actually be taking profits on some of them. Take a look at your NNDM, Nano Dimension. Nano Dimension started about 225 just last month, October. Right now, it's trading at about 6 to 7. We're talking about a 300% gain in just 2 months. Those are the things that Awesome 10X has shared to you actually for free. Take note. I'm going to like type it in. NDM Awesome 10X. Winners win is NMDM by October 1. So exactly when did we tell you? This was October 1. Around here, 2.3, 2.4, 2.2. So most of the picks actually of Awesome 10X, when you actually go in, is actually already up 200 to 300%, 100%. Triple digits is quite normal. So in my view, the biggest move in October and November might have to be taken some profits from. Whether you want to take just 5% or 10%, there's nothing wrong. And then take a look as well here. Even your solars are running very hot. Of course, the electrics need a solar charging stations, but these levels might actually not be a bit of a sustainable after very strong moves. Granted, this is just 35 to 45. It didn't go $70. But yeah, so be a little bit more careful. I'm going to take a look at some IPOs. This one is interesting in my view, Progeny. So this one has been languishing for quite a year now, from about October till today, November. For over a year, it rallied from 15 to 35, 32. So far, we are on the brink of either an all-time high or more all-time highs. So this one is actually more on the watch list. In my view, this IPO might actually deserve to go higher. So this one is on the watch list. So there's a lot of companies that are still probably going to offer your outperformance. Some SPACs, some IPOs, but I would say I would caution a bit on the extended electric vehicles and extended solar sector. So, and even extended IPOs. That's it, guys. There's not a lot of questions, it seems. So thank you very much. Please smash and like the video and subscribe every day for watching the Awesome 10X. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.